This is Val Campbell, and we are in an ongoing series called Handling the Objections. And I've titled this one, The Statistics, or The Statistician. And I just want you to know that I'm not encouraging you to get in arguments with these people who really don't want to understand. They just want to impress you with their brilliant intellect. And they're sure that if they just argue with you and pin you down long enough, you're going to be impressed with them and you will sway over to their side and they will have saved you. That's what this is about, right? And of course, it's ridiculous because none of these people are industry insiders. They don't really know the compensation plans and how they work and all the differences, and they don't understand the systems and the philosophy of networking versus hierarchies. Okay, this is just how it is. These people have an impression of consumer networking from some twisted experience they have, or they heard somebody say something, it kind of sounded like, well, that's a pyramid deal, or that's a Ponzi scheme, or it's a scam. And I deal with those in some other videos, but these are all silly things. You know, some of these companies have been in business 60, 80 years. Right? You think the government's just going to let an $8 billion Ponzi scheme or scam run around out there? Like I said, they're just ridiculous. And what you're going to find is that often the more educated they are in the conventional education system, the more rigid their thinking is and the less flexible they are to be able to understand something that's outside of the way they filter the world. So, sorry, I gotta wet my whistle there. So I'm having this conversation with a guy last night, friend of mine, smart guy, right? And he explains to me that he's a skeptic. Now, let me tell you what skeptic is. That's kind of like putting lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig, right? A skeptic, at least the way they're using this as a pretty picture, as they're using this as their lipstick. A skeptic is just a negative person. They just don't want to say, I'm just negative. They don't do that. They just say, well, I'm a skeptic. A true skeptic is going to come to you and say, this doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Can you explain it? Tell me how this thing works and what is it that makes this work? And then when you explain it, if they don't understand, they continue to say something like, I don't really understand that. Can you explain it differently? The point is that they're not trying to argue with you. Get the point? Okay. So when you're going to run into somebody that wants to argue, I would just say, run away. Just get away from those people. So, one of the things that this guy throws out there, and I thought, I'm going to have to make a video because this is going to run into you. And you're going to hear these things out there someplace, but he throws this out and he says, only 2% of the people in that business get rich. And of course, I feel like saying, what's the percentages of the teachers that get rich or the carpenters or things like that? Of course, 0, right? I mean, I don't know of anybody that's a teacher that ever got rich teaching. So, right off the bat, you understand that these people don't understand statistics, right? A statistic is a measurement that applies to a group of people. That you look at a whole group of people and you see, here's the statistic. It does not explain to you why that statistic exists. For instance, this industry is 80 years old. There were a lot of weird deals back when people that didn't know what they were doing. They didn't have the technology or they didn't have the styles of compensation plans we have now. There's a company out there that's, was founded in the 50s. It's a big company. The technology of their compensation plan, for instance, is, mirrors the technology of the day when a television was a plywood box that sat in a corner with rabbit ears on top and vacuum tubes inside. That was the technology of the time. They didn't have, they didn't do international business and things like that. The compensation plans today are so much more sophisticated. We know exactly what product lines to have. We know exactly how to develop teams. We have tools and systems, some of us, to be able to do this. So when you take this statistic, you're taking in 80 years of experience of a bunch of people, a large number of who probably thought they were getting in some kind of a get-rich-quick easy scheme, and then they found out, oh, you know, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to change and learn some things, and what, just like any other business, you know. And then they decided, I don't want to work that hard. And, you know, I didn't make, you know, I've been in this thing 2 weeks and I haven't made any money. Can I tell you, the businesses I've been in, you might wait months and months and months and invest money and work like a sled dog before you make money. These people have a twisted view. And a lot of times this is because they're not coached and mentored properly. And this can be a big problem in this industry. So what we have done on our team is to develop tools and systems and videos to help people educate themselves, like this one, so that you can go in there on demand when you have the time, grab your cup of tea or cup of coffee or a sandwich or something, and sit down and watch some of these videos and get educated, learn the reality. So let me tell you something about statistics. A statistic has nothing to do with you individually. You can tell me that 1,000 people failed. And I heard all of these things when I first got involved in this industry. They said, oh, I know a lot of people that got in that and they didn't make any money. You know, great. I don't really care. You show me the people that made money, and I'm going to find out what they did, and I'm going to duplicate that. I'm not going to duplicate what the failures did. All that told me is they didn't obviously do the right thing in the right place at the right time. Make sense? So none of that made, you know, any impression on me when all these people were going to tell me that they were in those deals and they didn't work or something like that. I said, well, I just met a couple of guys. You know, I just met a guy that's living in a 25,000 square foot house, and I'm pretty sure he's making a lot of money in this deal. I think I'm going to not listen to you. I'm going to go ask him, how did you do that, and will you teach me? Okay, enough said. So statistic, people want to start quoting statistic. They are not doing the right thing. They're misusing a statistic, because statistics are a reflection of a group of people over a history. They do not address you personally. Don't have anything to do with that. Okay? Hope that answers that question. You know what? We've got an awesome deal here. This is fantastic. And let's go make our dreams come true. Okay? I'm with you. Talk to you later.